नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, verse 34. एवम् अभ्यस्यतः चित्तं कालेनाल्पीयसायतेः अनिशं तस्य निर्वाणं यात्यनिन्धनवह्निवत्. When the yogi regularly practices in this way, in a short time his heart becomes fixed and free from disturbance, like a fire without flames or smoke. Nirvana means the cessation of all material desires. Sometimes desirelessness is understood to imply an end to the workings of the mind, but that this is not possible. Hmm. Sometimes desirelessness is understood to imply an end of to the workings of the mind, meaning mind stops thinking, but that is not possible. The living entity has senses, and if the senses stopped working, the living entity would no longer be a living entity. It would be exactly like stone or wood. Actually, the simple truth cannot be understood by impersonalists or Nirakaravadis or um, yeah, people who just say that stop everything, even meditation, right? They say stop the mind from thinking something. That thought itself is a thought that I am to stop thinking about something. So it's not possible to stop thinking, or the activities of mind and senses cannot be stopped. It's not possible because he is living, he is Nitya and Chetana, eternally sentient. Sentient means Chetana means full of consciousness. For those who are not very advanced, the practice of yoga is recommended in order to stop the mind from being agitated by material desires. But if one fixes his mind on the lotus feet of Hare Krishna, 1 second. We lost electricity here. Just give a minute. Okay, I have to share screen again. Mm. Interesting. Just 1 second. Okay, 7:15. Yeah. Yeah, limited your senses, and if the senses stop working, yeah, okay, we read this. It's not possible because he is living, he is Nitya and Chetana. For those who are not very advanced, the practice of yoga is recommended in order to stop the mind from being agitated by material desires. But if one fixes his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, his mind naturally becomes peaceful very soon. So, this is very important. For our mind to become peaceful, we have to fix the mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Mm. So, that is why, Ambarish Maharaj says, Savaimana Krishna Padara Vindayor Achamshi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. So, if you want to engage the mind, Prabhupada says mind is today absorbed in material literature. But mind should be engaged in spiritual literature. So, Vachamshi Vaikunta Guna Anuvarnane. We have to read about Vaikunta, which means we have to read about Krishna, Krishna's world, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's devotion. And then the mind can become fixed. Mm, So, hearing about Krishna, if the mind is fixed in hearing about Krishna, then the mind is fixed in the lotus feet of Krishna, at the lotus feet of Krishna. So, again, unless we become addicted to reading Prabhupada's books, extensive reading, extensively reading Prabhupada's books on a daily basis, the mind is going to get agitated and go here and there. Uh, different devotees keep coming to me and keep telling, this problem, that problem. So many problems, it's the material life means problems. And the mind gets agitated when things are not smooth. Mm, So we need to prepare ourselves. When everything is going fine, prepare yourself for some disturbance by doing intense devotion. But unfortunately, we don't understand this. So devotees whose life is all hunky dory, everything going nice, they take devotion also lightly. They don't do it with intensity. So then, when situation arises, then they are in trouble. But we should actually do bhakti more intently, more intensely when things are going fine, because then it will prepare our mind. It will to handle different kinds of adverse situations. So fix the mind in knowing about Krishna, in all these things. Then mind can be fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna. Otherwise, mind will become agitated by material desires. Um, Material desires for us is like breathing. So we have got so accustomed to material desires, fulfilling material desires, that almost not fulfilling material desires makes us feel incomplete. We feel something is missing. We should understand it's just an illusion. It's just like a dream. But when we are dreaming, we cannot understand that we are dreaming till we get some consciousness, till some little consciousness comes. Uh, or we will come to know that we were dreaming after we woke up. This is our problem. So we have to wake up. Unless we wake up, then we are always thinking that all these things are real, but they're not real in the sense that they're not connected with the Atma. It's like, how can we understand this material world? Prabhupada says it's like in a cinema, or easier to understand a theater. Right? If suppose say somebody is playing the role of, some role in some drama, now he will think that he is that person and he is trying to live that person. Mm. Sometimes these actors become so involved that they really forget themselves. So this is our situation. We are like in this drama and we've forgotten who we really are, and we are completely taken it very seriously. And in that life, material desires, fulfilling material desires is a very integral part of living. Mm. And we see that, like recently we were on this yatra and, in train, we see people, what do they do? 24 hours, 36 hours, eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep. And of course, now mobile. That's all. So today I was hearing a lecture. Prabhupada was talking about Go Dasa. Very interesting points, like as usual, Prabhupada made. So he was saying that our mind is so much accustomed to material desires that eyes want to see something beautiful. And he was saying, eyes want to see a beautiful girl. Now, uh, when the eyes wants to do this, so which means saying that, say some lady is passing by and she's beautiful, and say for a male, if the eyes go towards the lady, that is a natural reaction of the senses because they are materially conditioned. Now, Goswami, what does he do? Immediately he tries to prevent that action. He tries to prevent that action. Now, of course, we know in the life of Ajamila that he saw this prostitute, but he saw the prostitute. Now, his problem was that he saw. If he could have avoided seeing the prostitute, then he wouldn't have got into trouble. Because dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangasteshu upajayate, right? So as soon as the senses get engaged in some sense object, then you can't pull it out. And it requires lot of strength, lot of spiritual strength to pull it out. So here it is said that for those who are not very advanced, we have to practice this yoga. Uh, and what is this yoga? So we practice bhakti yoga. Along with that, we restrain our senses from sense objects as much as possible. Mm. Which is why it is said that, for brahmacharis and even for grasthas, it's not recommended that we speak with Matajis unless it is absolutely required. Which is why for preachers, it's a big challenge. I have said this before also. But unnecessarily, we should not speak. So these things have to be followed, but at the same time, preaching has to happen, etc., etc. So challenges are more. So because there is risk all the time, which is why Krishna says, preacher, devotee is very dear to me. All devotees are dear to Krishna, but in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying one who preaches is very dear to me because he takes up a lot of risk. So if anybody wants special mercy of the Lord, then you can engage in book distribution, heavy risk, right? Because you'll go on the street, people will literally spit at us. Mm. But yeah, these things have to be done. When we do these things, we become dear to Krishna. Anyway, so the point is that the mind is going to get driven towards material objects, and one who is not advanced in devotion should restrain the senses from sense objects. Easier way to do that is to fix the mind always on the lotus feet of Krishna. Now, this always is important because suppose say we took our mind off Krishna for 30 seconds, that is enough to fall down. 30 seconds is enough. We don't need too much time. We are so fallen. And that is why it has to be always. Which means that 24 hours we should be engaged in devotional service and Tivra devotional service, meaning no time for anything else. Something comes, also, no time to think. No time to think, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. Only such devotees get protected. If somebody wants to take things lightly, it's okay. Let's take things lightly. We will. Yeah, and it depends on which are our weak senses. For some devotees, their tongue is weak, which means that eating. So like this, so we have to know our limitations, our weaknesses, and we have to protect ourselves. Otherwise, we can very easily succumb to material desires. This peace is described in Bhagavad Gita. Bhoktaram ignatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surudam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shanti mrityati. So just imagine when there is so much emphasis even on curbing material desires. Still, we see most devotees not really giving it too much attention, which is strange. Uh, and like somebody was telling on the train, and giving some class, and then somebody comment said, "Prabhu, you are so heavy." What I mean is, what Prabhupada has written. What is the point in saying you are heavy? Then which means that Prabhupada is heavy, and Prabhupada was heavy. Prabhupada never let devotees to do whatever they want. He engaged them fully in Krishna consciousness. And even for those devotees who are engaging fully in Krishna consciousness so seriously, he was still, there were rules and regulations. What about us? So it's important that we don't neglect this. If one can understand Krishna as the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor of everything, and the supreme friend of everyone, one is established in peace and is free from material agitation. Hmm. An important thing here is to understand that he is the supreme enjoyer. We are not supposed to enjoy. So we saw some object which is attracting our senses. We should remember saying, "Hey, I am not the enjoyer. Krishna is the enjoyer. Why am I trying to enjoy?" Right? And if you want to possess something, we should remember, "Hey, Krishna is the proprietor. Why am I trying to possess something?" Only then one can be established in peace. Only then. Right? Otherwise, it's not possible. I'm muting Mataji. Okay. Otherwise, we can't be established in peace, and one who is not established in peace is naturally materially agitated. So, if we are not in a peaceful state of mind, we are in an agitated state of mind. And what are we agitated about? Normally, it's about material things. We have not reached that stage where we are agitated about us, about Krishna consciousness not being, not spreading at the pace that that it is required, etc. We are not at that stage. Exalted devotees will be agitated about that. How can we spread more Krishna consciousness? But for us, we will be more materially agitated. However, for one who cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the practice of yoga is recommended for one who cannot understand. So, the practice of yoga is so that we can come to the stage of understanding Krishna. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. So, in this verse, actually, this word is very important. Yogi regularly practices. Uh, so, this regular practice is required. See, this regular, the word used generally is nityam. Yeah, Prabhupada is added that word here because we have to understand saying that devotion cannot be performed as and when there is time. It has to be done regularly, meaning first it has to be done daily. Then the number of hours being done should be increased. Subsequently, it has to come to the stage of constant. Constant. And this has to be our goal to do constant devotional service. Uh, Not like when I will do devotion when I have time. Other times I'm busy with my life. Um, that is not going to help in fixing our mind on Krishna. Right. So, but if somebody does this regularly, constantly, in a short time, his heart becomes fixed and free from disturbance. And Bhakti Yoga is so powerful that it can actually very easily engage because the mind gets very naturally, happily engaged in Krishna's service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. So when the mind can get so nicely engaged, then agitation will come. See, it's not like agitation will come in the life of Jada Bharat. We will see that actually when Rahugana spoke, he is actually offensively speaking. And Bhagavatam says that for a second there were some waves in the heart of Rahugana, but he didn't react to it because he was advanced. So this mind jumping up and down will be there till some time, but we should not respond to it, and that is a challenge. That is the reason we have to Fix our mind, drown our mind in Krishna. कामादिभिरनाविद्धं प्रशान्ताखिलवृत्ति यत् चित्तं ब्रह्मसुखस्पृष्टं नैवोत्तिष्ठेत कर्हिचेत्. When one's consciousness is uncontaminated by material lusty desires, it becomes calm and peaceful in all activities, for one is situated in eternal blissful life. See, actually, we should understand this the other way around. When one is situated in eternal blissful life, mind becomes calm and peaceful, then material desires, lusty desires will not trouble us. Once we are situated on that platform of eternal bliss, one does not return to materialistic activities. One should not return to materialistic activities. Once they have come to the platform of devotion, once they've reached the transcendental platform, which means 24 hours engaging in devotion is a transcendental platform. And when one has reached that stage, he should not come down. He should not come down. Purport Brahma Sukha Sprishtam is also described in Bhagavad Gita. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim lavate param. One who is transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. Why does he become fully joyful? Because he realizes that he is Brahman, that he is not material, he is not this body. So, and disturbance is coming to the body, so he doesn't care. I am Atma, I'm just engaged this body. Body is going to go through some trouble, doesn't matter. I am Brahman, I will engage in the service of Parabrahman, and he is happy. He's joyful because he's getting an opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord. And he's not agitated. He never laments or desires to have anything. He's equally disposed toward every living entity. And no shochati, no kankshati. No being in the future, no being in the past. Be in the present. And samasarveshu bhuteshu is equally disposed toward every living entity, meaning he sees every living entity as part and parcel of Krishna. He doesn't see the living entity's body. Whenever we see somebody or some, human being or animal or whatever, we only see the body. We are not seeing the Atma. But for somebody who's reached liberation, he only sees that, okay, part and parcel of Krishna. Forgotten. In a forgotten state, so different types of bodies, how can I help? This is the consciousness of Uttamadhikari or even a Madhyamadhikari to some extent. In this situation, he begins transcendental activities or devotional service to the Lord. Which means that, like I said, we are already doing devotion, but you have not come to the stage of liberation, which means that we are actually not doing liberation. We are actually not doing devotion. We are practicing devotion to come to the stage of devotion. It's inconceivable. Devotion is so powerful that it itself has to become the cause for giving devotion or pure devotion. So mixed devotion is the cause, or it can become the cause for pure devotion. Some devotees are very fortunate that they engage in pure devotion from day one. But for many, it will be mostly mixed devotion. And that practice itself is so powerful that it can bring one to the stage of pure devotion. And so please understand, our real devotional service starts at the stage of liberation. Real bhakti starts when we are not materially attached, entangled. So this is mukti. Muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. So mukti means being established in our constitutional position of being a servant of Krishna. Or for mapping it onto our stages of bhakti, it is nishta. Stage of nishta. Nishta means constant devotional service. Only when we can engage in constant devotional service without disturbance, then we can reach the stage of mukti. And when we reach mukti, which means that we actually start our pure devotional service, because now we are no longer bothered about our body, or about material possession, material world, etc., etc., and then we begin real devotional service. Generally, once elevated to the transcendental platform of Brahma Sukha, transcendental bliss, one never comes down because the transcendental bliss is so amazing that this material so-called happiness is like nothing. So one doesn't want to come down. He wants to remain high forever. When Prabhupada was there, American disciples coined this slogan, remain high forever, because remaining high means drunk. So they said because all people there were like drug addicts and LSD and this and that and all that. So they said remain high forever because the other processes take a person high and then they are low again. But devotion can keep us high all the time. So one does not like to come down once one has experienced transcendental bliss. But if one does not engage in devotional service, there's a chance of his returning to the material platform. Aruhya kruchrena parampadam tata patanti ado anatrita yushmadangrayaha. One may rise to the platform of Brahma Bhuta, Brahma Sukha, but even from that platform, one may fall down to the material platform if he does not engage himself in devotional service. This is true for impersonalists, and this is also true for devotees. If we don't engage in Tivra Bhakti, then there's all the chances that we'll fall down, come down to material consciousness. And we experience this when we go on yatra, we are on super transcendental consciousness. We don't even know that our body exists, or how our body is functioning, just like then when we come back, then we are to our homes and whatever, blah, blah, then we are back. So that, being in Dham, being in the association of devotees gives us that elevates us. And then when we come back by ourselves, we go down again. So we need that kind of association, that kind of engagement in devotion. And, uh, which what I now see, experience for me here in Ulima. We started this Mangalarti, and those devotees are coming, they're getting fired up. Right? Their morning program is good, they're happy, they want to remain in this kind of, yes, devotee association. Naturally, they will see results also. Their chanting will become much better. Of course, if devotees are mindless, even in the presence of other devotees association, then it becomes difficult. But if somebody is enthusiastic, saying that, wow, Krishna is so merciful that he has given me this chance to associate with other devotees who are more advanced than me, then we can actually make progress. We can actually make progress. So, and that will prevent us from going down because every day we will remain high, right? And that will take us throughout the day. And by the time the battery is getting discharged, again next day morning it will get recharged. Mm. So I was talking to a devotee about some, behavioral changes that I have seen in that person, and devotee was saying that it's all because of continuous hearing for the last 6 months. So which means that daily doing this devotional service, hearing, Mangalarti, chanting in the association of devotees, all this can be very, very powerful. It can take us, it can help us overcome our own limitations, which we were unable to overcome, before. We were doing devotion, but we were not doing intense devotion. So when we do intense devotion, these things will go away very quickly. And then we can experience spiritual bliss. Right now, we are experiencing in bits and pieces. But when this becomes like a constant, devotion becomes a constant aspect of our life, then whenever mind goes, a bit low, what should we do? Simply Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So as soon as Hare Krishna Mahamantra comes in our mind, gone. Everything will gone. And when that happens, just make sure that you don't let Hare Krishna Mahamantra off your tongue. Meaning continuously just keep singing, chanting, whatever. Generally, chanting, maybe people might be bored because then they still don't have taste for chanting Hare Krishna. So you can sing Hare Krishna in your favorite tune. Doesn't matter. Krishna has to be on the tongue. That's all. And when that happens, automatically the agitated mind calms down. But our issue is that even when the mind is agitated, we don't try to bring Krishna into our mind. This is our problem. It's like I have the biggest influence that I can use. And then now I have a situation where I should use influence and then I forgot. Or I'm not like, I'm not thinking, saying that, hey, I should call this person. Um, when we are in trouble, we should call this person. We should call Krishna. And Krishna is there. He's ready to help us. And the agitated mind calms down. Mm. See, one thing we have to understand that this mind, it's just our willingness. We have just left the mind uncontrolled. That's our problem. The more we want to control and put constraints on the mind, the more it will come under control, especially with Krishna consciousness. So it's very easy whenever we are in some situation which is not expected out of us, which means that it's not a behavior of devotees. Immediately we should bring Krishna into our mind. Immediately. But we are very lazy. Sometimes we like that sense gratification. So we say it's okay one time. What is that? That's dangerous. That can pull us down badly. So always think of Krishna, always chant Hare Krishna. For us, that's the best thing. For Kali Yuga, just chanting Hare Krishna all the time can take care of everything. Ya प्रव्रज्य गृहात् पूर्वं त्रिवर्गावपनात् पुनः यदि सेवता तान् भिक्षुः स वै स्वान्तास्ति अपत्रपः. One who accepts the sannyas order gives up the three principles of materialistic activities, namely kama, no, the dharma, artha, kama. One who first accepts sannyas but then returns to such materialistic activities is to be called a vantashi. Vantashi. Hmm. Or one who eats his own vomit is indeed a shameless person. So this is specifically for sannyasis. Of course, even for us, if we elevate ourselves to some position and then fall down, and that's ridiculous. Materialistic activities are regulated by the institution of Varnashrama Dharma, but we don't want Varnashrama Dharma because we don't want materialistic activities to be regulated. We want it to be unregulated, means whimsical. Do whatever you want, do whatever nonsense you want, sense gratify, enjoy yourself. So we don't want Varnashrama. Without Varnashrama, materialistic activities constitute animal life. So Prabhupada elsewhere writes, saying Varnashrama means cultured human life. And without being cultured, a human is non-different from animal. Yet even in human life, while observing the principles of Varna and Ashrama, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Grihastha, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, one must ultimately accept sannyas. The renounced order. For only by the renounced order can one be situated in Brahma Sukha. In Brahma Sukha, one is no longer attracted by lusty desires. Indeed, when one is no longer disturbed, especially by lusty desires for sexual indulgence, he is fit to become a sannyasi. So this is the criteria. Otherwise, one should not accept the sannyas order. If one accepts sannyas at an immature stage, there's every possibility of his being attracted by women and lusty desires and thus again becoming a so-called grihastha or a victim of women. Such a person is most shameless and is called a vantashi, or one who eats that which he has already vomited. He certainly leads a condemned life. In our Krishna conscious movement, it is advised, therefore, the sannyasis and brahmacharis keep strictly aloof from the association of women so that there will be no chance of their falling down again as victims of lusty desires. Okay. And like I said, this remaining strictly aloof means, first of all, in this book Brahmacharya and Krishna Consciousness, my Guru Maharaj is Orient Bhakti Vikas Maharaj has said that even such a person who is trying to practice that kind of brahmacharya should not even look at a doll for feminine, of which has feminine features. Not even look at a doll. Forget about looking at actual living person. It is important because this thing has to completely go off from the mind. This attachment to desires, this material lusty desires, etc. And yeah, it's a challenge. And again, when I'm a male, so I'm talking from a male's perspective. Prabhupada is also talking from a male's perspective, and similar things for women as well. The whole point here is not to get materially entangled. For man, the entanglement is women. For women, it could be man, it could be children, it could be wardrobe, it could be money, it could be gold, whatever. Right? But for men, it's very, very strongly either money or women. It's only these two, mostly 99%. So we have to be careful. Of course, brahmacharis and sannyasis don't have an option to get. Uh, uh, I mean, they don't accumulate money, so they don't have that problem. So they have to protect themselves from women. For grihasthas, men, it's both money and women. And that is the reason why this grihastha life of sense control, husband and wife coming together only for procreation. If there is no plan to produce children, then no question of physical contact, and not even just casual physical contact, because it's all agitates. It's just simply it's like butter and fire, right? So just remain aloof, remain physical distance has to be maintained. Um, Yeah. So these things have to be done, especially for those who have some tendencies, right? For few, maybe they don't have such tendencies. So for them, they're safer. For those who have tendency, they should definitely try to avoid. Mm. Mm. And the point is that we should not become victim of lusty desires, and anything material is lusty. Mm. Mm. So we have to be careful that we can practice Krishna consciousness, Tivra, intensely in the association of like-minded devotees, meaning devotees who are also intensely practicing devotion. And only then we can actually make progress. Many times as grihasthas, we feel that, yeah, I'm doing my chanting, I'm doing my reading, that's okay, that's enough. But that's not enough because we are not protected. For us to be protected, we have to be in the association of devotees as much as possible, not once in a week. Not once in a week. Of course, daily hearing is very, very powerful. But daily, and this will help us kind of control ourselves, or you know yeah. But when we are actually we can experience daily association of devotees, that gives bliss. So one is for control, the other is for happiness. Because it's always pleasing to see devotees and engage and talk, and be in the association of devotees. So when we do this naturally, we experience that bliss, and then we cannot get that anywhere else. Any material activity cannot take that place. Mm. So solution is as much possible, do regular devotion, which includes chanting, reading slash hearing, and association of devotees. The more we do this, the more we become protected. We get protected. Okay. And I should say, because our previously, when we were like whatever 15 years back, we had just one temple. And we used to see that Sunday program, devotees used to come from various parts of the city to the temple, and which means that coming to just one Sunday program was a big challenge. So much of time and energy going, right? And I should really thank our Anukul Prabhu, because this whole vision of starting bhakti sadhans or centers in different parts of the city, it actually provides for this what I just spoke. Daily Mangalarti, chanting, hearing in the association, devotees associating with devotees, and it actually helps us it protects us, gives us a higher taste, and prevents us from actually falling victims to material desires. So everybody, on this meeting, whoever, try to associate as much as possible with devotees near your home, wherever you have centers, etc., sadhans, and do morning program, do regular Shravanam, Kirtanam, even regular Kirtanam is very, very powerful. Mm, Devotees can come together and do Kirtan. Mm. So these things can actually give us that higher taste and prevent us from getting lost in. petty material desires. Okay, so with that, I'll stop. If anybody has any questions, comments, any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Mataji.
Like, I mean, it's not confronting with what Prabhupada says, because this is absolutely right what you say and what you're preaching, and what we should actually be doing. But
Mm.
Prabhu, through the years of life, through so many things, so many presidents, so many devotees, so many rumors, so many going through so many up and it has given a
Mm.
very different taste also, Prabhu.
Mm.
I mean, when you get so puffed up being old, you get so puffed up thinking you're a very good devotee.
Mm.
You start doing abnormal things which even a karmi does not do. I mean, when you say it's sense gratification, Krishna's like taking, we're not taking care of this thing. We're not. I'm not even talking about the rhythmic part of it.
Uh-huh.
I see. Why do sannyasis fall? Why do
Yeah.
devotees fall? Why do I fall?
Mm.
Why do you fall? I mean, like, why even go there? Why don't we look into ourselves also, Prabhu? I mean,
Yeah.
even in a small congregation temple, I see so much of, then I mean, there are good devotees coming at folk chanting,
Yeah.
over the period of time, I mean, today, if like I'm talking to you, like my voice is loud, and if I get excited, it becomes a little bit louder. I mean, everybody knows this about me. People who
Mm.
have been very humble, very this thing, even the way they start treating other devotees like garbage. You have your
Yeah. Yeah.
pockets, you have this. What do you, what is, what, then we say we are devotees. We are supposed to chant, we are supposed to renunciate. And Prabhu, renunciation, like I didn't want to get into it yesterday. I mean, I don't know if it's a good platform to talk about also.
Mhm.
Some are able to, some aren't able to, some are trying, some cannot,
Yeah.
and some after renunciation, they were better off without renunciating. They
Mhm.
become
Yeah.
different persons altogether.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so there's, I mean, see, Prabhu, what I understand, I may be absolutely wrong about the teaching.
Mm.
When
Mhm.
Prabhupada ji ne he taught X, Y, and Z, they were all
Mm.
with him 24 hours 7. They just
Correct.
listened
Correct.
to him blindly.
Correct.
They were married within the temple.
Right.
They hardly had karmi association.
Right.
They had like minded people, a handful of 20 people who wanted to improve and become like Swamiji.
Correct.
When we come back home, yeah, yeah. I mean, yesterday I wanted to, but I thought the platform was not right. You're talking about, many times you tell this in class, we have to do our duty. We don't have to, like with your white children, do your duty. And Prabhu, like I'm asking
Mm.
myself, what does duty mean? Your wife cooks, keeps the food. Prabhu, aage खा लो. हाँ नहीं खा लिया हो गया.
No, but that's
No,
not duty. No,
no.
that's not
Then
duty.
what is the prescribed
Yeah.
duty? If she's
Duty
sick,
is,
if she's sick, if you're in ISKCON,
yeah,
I've
you have to
seen.
take care. You have to take care of
No,
her.
no, but in ISKCON, I've seen. She's a Murti of Maya.
No,
You can't
but
even
in
touch her.
ISKCON,
You can't even
Mataji,
embrace her. You
Mataji,
can't even embrace her. I
In
don't know,
ISKCON,
Prabhu.
no, no, in ISKCON, I think we should not comment about ISKCON because ISKCON doesn't understand Prabhupada's teachings. Right? Nobody reads. Who's reading Prabhupada's books every day? Tell me that, right? So the problem by looking at the wider audience in ISKCON and concluding something is will be flawed because people are not reading Prabhupada. They don't understand what Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada said, take care of everybody in the house as devotees. And we have to take care of them as devotees. What's the confusion there? There's no confusion, right? People don't do it because they don't want to do it. That's their problem.
Right,
But
Prabhu. I even today, or even there are women who come up to me. They say, Prabhu, and they don't want to share Maya ka murti. Money matters. They think Krishna, money is your money. अरे कैसे भी जेब में डाल लो, कैसे भी खर्च लो. तुम प्रेसिडेंट क्या बन गए? सारा फंड तुम्हारा जेब का तुम्हारा है. अरे तुम सेक्रेटरी क्या बन गए? You are looking after one. I mean, okay, chalo, we just talk about you and me. Like, so I don't want to quote. Now, Prabhu's looking after one center. ₹10
Hmm.
आता है, ₹9 तुम्हारी जेब में जाते हैं. You don't want to be answerable. You don't want to do anything. Prabhu, I've seen so much. I have seen so much. Like I've seen so much of good and bad. Sometimes it gives me a taste of even why I was better off as a cousin. Like I'm
Yeah, yeah,
sorry. I
that
am
is a
sorry. I'm sorry.
no, no, but that's
I mean,
okay. I mean,
you're
I'm saying
preaching many times. I get when you preach, I get so shaken up. So many times my Prabhu tells me,
no,
तू
but Mataji,
इतना renunciated, तू इतना depression में चली जाती है. बोले stop listening or you just take. I tell him Ashok ऐसे, हरि बोल ऐसे, हरि बोल. And I'm not lying to you, Prabhu. I'm being
no, but
very very
see,
open.
the point is that we are all at different stages of our devotion, and we need to know what the North Star is, right? And Prabhupada is giving us the North Star. If we are not able to get there, we should take our time. See, and this is the thing.
But
There's no point in getting frustrated or disappointed or depressed, right?
then
I
it
mean,
happens.
when
But
no, no,
because
but it's not required. It's
no,
not
I'll tell you
required
why. I'll
because.
tell you. I'll tell you why. Because
Mm,
you want to fit in here. You're not fitting in
hmm
here, right? You want to become. It's one lifetime opportunity I'm getting. I need to get back there. I've studied so much. I need to be in America. I have been so. इतना opportunity मिला है गुरु का devote इसका having a atmosphere at home which nobody stops. All that. Then there is
mm,
something which you're not able to do it for whatever reason. Your
yeah,
sense gratification, or your I mean my maybe I'm made like that. I don't put in that effort, or whatever it is, whatever reason it is. But with the grace of your guru, something you're still lingering. The anchor is so
mm,
strong, it's not letting me sink. The anchor is
mm,
so strong, it's not letting. I'm still floating. Prabhu, like
yeah.
everybody, the cup of tea for everybody's, like hats off to you. You've renunciated. Hats off for your family who's taken it with a pinch of salt. I don't know. I don't know Mataji. I don't know your daughter. But hats off because they also must have done 10 adjustments, to it. It's not that it does. As a woman, I'm talking. Because many times I and Ankul and I have big fights because they don't want to go anywhere. They don't, it happens. I'm sorry. I'm getting off the track, I suppose. But even renunciation for everybody, like I see every day, every night from like money matters. This is my money. This is this. Who are you? Who is it, this thing? Prabhu, what all I see, I
Yeah,
don't
but
need to
that's
quote.
not the. I
Quote.
mean, but the point is that we
It's
are in this material world, and these things are bound to be there. They're going to be there.
then even
But
in the devotee committee,
yeah, yeah,
even
absolutely. I
after
mean,
even
yeah,
after even after being saying you're such a good devotee, far
no, no. But
excellent devotee, 100
What
out
is a
of
good
100 people
devotee?
tick mark you.
No, but what is a good devotee is I don't know what is the definition for that. If we are still remaining in the modes, then we have remained in the modes. Then that's not considered. I mean, as per Shastra, devotee is transcendental. If we are on the platform of the modes, then yeah, others might be thinking that we are a devotee, but maybe we are not a devotee. And see, that is the reason why we have to read Shastra. That's the reason why Rupa Goswami says discriminate when you're associating. I mean, these things we have to know. See, why I agree with what you're saying in the sense that ISKCON is a worldwide movement with so many, all kinds of people, right? And all kinds of people have their own path and they will take their own time to come to Krishna. And which is why, see, one of the things I keep telling devotees saying that please have like-minded association. Like-minded association means if suppose say this, you're saying, okay, my classes are like, you speak like this, you speak. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. And which is why, it is suitable only for those who can take it and take it in the right way, right? Unfortunately, that's how Prabhupada's books are, right? Now we can read Prabhupada's books and just turn a deaf ear to a lot of things that he's saying, right, or interpret it the way we want, and which means that we are going to it's going to take time for us to make progress. So I am for my own benefit, and maybe for those who actually ask me to do these classes, I'm speaking so that they understand what is being written. And if we are sincere, I think Prabhupada will help us. Right, and I'm not saying that is not a mandate, but it's the direction. If we can follow, then it's good for us. So many things, even what Prabhupada is saying, it's not that. I 100% follow. But for me, it's aspiration. When I read something, I feel, yes, Prabhupada wants me to do this, but I'm not doing it. So this is my next goal. That's how I read Prabhupada's books. So, yeah, I mean, different people can have different approaches. But at the end of the day, if you have to go to Krishna in this life, then these things have to be done. I mean, it's not whether I say or I don't say or Prabhupada says or whatever, right? It's just that, right? Uh, so the real question that people have to answer, devotees have to answer is, do we want Krishna in this life? If so, then we have to put the effort. Anyway, we can take this offline, Mataji, because I don't think we should discuss openly because there's so many things to be understood and devotees might get confused. Anyway, so the point is that these things are there and we should try our best
Yeah, that is
to
why
got,
I didn't come. I
yeah,
didn't speak out yesterday, but today, like
yeah,
it got a little, I got a little bottled up. I suppose I
no
just
problem.
should. Sorry,
No problem.
Prabhu.
Okay, no
Like
problem.
I
Right.
no, Prabhu, I see every day. You question, you ask, "Kya hua hai?" This, even the husband at home will ask your wife, "I gave you 100 rupees yesterday. It won't happen. It's Krishna's money. It's Krishna's time.
Uh,
It's Krishna's
yeah,
temple. You're answerable.
yeah,
I'm answerable. Prabhu's answerable. You're answerable. We
yeah,
all
yeah,
answerable to
yeah,
somebody higher. It's not that
yeah,
we are not answerable, Prabhu. We all are.
correct. Yeah, yeah,
We
which
cannot
is
do
the right
magic.
way.
It's not that just because I mean uncle is managing the temple, that doesn't mean he is not answerable to him. He's answerable to you. He's answerable to Prabhu. He's answerable to Guru. He's answerable to everybody in the line here, and
Uh,
above all, Prabhupada and Krishna. So
yeah,
it has to be like that, Prabhu. It
yeah.
cannot be कि भी
Okay.
मैं हूँ तो ठीक है.
So
Anyway,
just
let's get
just in
on.
the interest of other devotees don't know the background or the context, so I think they'll all feel out of place. So it's fine. So we can take this offline.
Sorry,
So
Prabhu. Let's get it off. Hare
yeah,
Krishna. General.
Hare Krishna. Okay, yeah. So we
Yeah.
can end today's conversation. So the whole point was that
Hare Krishna.
yeah, Hare Krishna. The whole
No,
point was
Prabhuji, actually,
yeah,
because we travel and seen. No, frankly tell you, I see you are so much careful about Krishna's money. I want people to be feel that way, and people should be careful that way. Actually, Prabhuji. So very,
yeah.
you are a good example for devotees. Can I actually frankly tell you everything?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, bro.
Yeah. Thank you
Okay,
for
bro. Hare Krishna. Okay,
Hare.
so yeah, so just to recap, mind is our big trouble. I think everything that Mataji also said is just a reflection of how devotees are not reaching that stage of controlling their mind and doing what is right. And so again, I mean, for me, I've seen what I've seen is that devotees who have not been who have been exposed to the right philosophy from day one don't find it difficult, and I'm
Yes,
seeing
Prabhuji.
that in my own preaching. Right, devotees who have been like in Krishna conscious movement for 1 year, 2 years, but have been hearing only this language. They've not heard anything else. And many times, these devotees who hear, they come to me and say, Prabhu, like this also can happen, is it? Like they're shocked to hear these things. They can't understand how it is possible at all for devotees to act like this, behave wrongly, do wrong things, etc. Because they were not they never heard anything like something like this is possible. So my thought process on this is very very clear. It is quality hearing. If devotees come into Krishna consciousness and if they are given Prabhupada's books and made them to
But
read,
with this, Prabhu, another point is that quality hearing and follow.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
like this. As earlier, one class I was hearing you, we read
mm,
Prabhupada's book, but not follow. That is
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hear or read. Okay, gone. That's all matter
Correct,
and care.
correct, correct.
If,
Spiritual
if
life means gnanam vijnanam, right?
yeah,
Yes,
if
yes,
we
Prabhu.
won't follow,
So
then won't follow. Then it's a kind of like a hathi snan. That's all kind of
yeah,
right
yeah, yeah. Yes,
over.
the elephant's bath. So we
Yes.
and we have to try and see for me always I keep remembering Prabhupada the order he got from his Guru Maharaj. It took him so many years of preparation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And it almost seemed impossible for him at the first go, right? But he didn't give up, right? He
yeah.
constantly tried, meditated, prayed, begged for
Yes,
mercy,
yes.
etc., etc. And we have to do that. Otherwise, see, yeah, we can, which is why Prabhupada said that devotees who will reach Goloka percentage will be much less because of all these challenges. But if somebody reads Prabhupada's books as it
Yes,
is,
as it is,
there is
right.
no way we
Where
can
he
go
cannot
wrong.
reach 100%. I
Right,
agree.
Prabhu? Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, so I think, this is why, Anukul Prabhu always keeps pushing devotees saying that read Prabhupada's books, but unfortunately people don't read.
Prabhuji,
If we
I'm
read,
I'm very sorry to say, when you ask people to raise hand,
yeah,
only few
every
people
year.
raise hand. Can they're reading regularly? Can actually
Yeah,
can.
every year Prabhupada Vyas Puja or Prabhu keeps asking this in temple and says how many of you have read this, how many of you read that. 1,000 people will be sitting there and 10 hands will go up. So which reflects where we are in our devotion or where ISKCON is today, right? Unfortunately, because of lack of reading and like Prabhu said, following. So please, everybody, just like, even though you don't know what we are speaking, it's like vague, and I understand you don't have the context of what's being
Yeah, yeah,
spoken.
yeah.
But in general, my recommendation to everybody is just do your morning sadhana properly, read Prabhupada's
And
books, and
I
follow
will
instructions.
advise here, Prabhuji, as you
Yeah,
said, we should careful about our sadhana. We should not, I told her so many times, we should not
mm,
look others, how is their
correct,
behavior, how they are
correct.
dealing with Krishna money, if they are not bother.
Uh,
I said,
yeah,
why we go and met people, matter and there. What we can do for Prabhupada, we should do it. Otherwise,
correct.
let Prabhupada and Krishna take care of them. If they are not,
Correct.
they are
Absolutely.
not.
Absolutely. Perfect. Actually, see, because somebody was asking me saying that Prabhu, you say so many things. We see so many things not being followed. What should we do? I said, just remember that you should not do it.
Yeah.
Now, don't go behind saying that, why this person is not doing, then criticize that person, this, that, and all. I just said, see, this is a learning for you to make sure that you don't do it. That's all.
Yes, yes.
When we see something being wrong being done, it's a lesson for us saying that, oh, no, 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 I'm not going to do this because Prabhupada said not to do it. Now, somebody is doing that between him and his guru and Prabhupada and Krishna and all of them. They will take care of it. Why we think that we are Krishna? Is it to control
Yeah,
everybody?
bilkul.
Right. So
We
we will
should.
do our devotion.
Yes, I tell you about me, probably, but I also feel pain. One day I was standing there, somebody gave 5,000 rupees donation. I
Ah,
cut receipt and gave it. And I
ah,
put money in my pocket. Nobody was there, so I didn't want to keep in there without anybody taking giving. I
mm-hmm.
forgot to give there in temple and came back home.
Ah,
When I reached home, I was changing shirt. Then I saw okay, there is money. Then I said, there was no money in my pocket. From where this come? Then I suddenly
ah,
remember okay, temple money. Then I called Rakar. I said,
mm,
Prabhu, I gave one the seed and 5,000 rupees somebody gave donation. And by
mm,
mistake, it will come in my pocket. If you want, I can send now itself by my driver, or if you want, I can send tomorrow morning. He said, no,
mm-hmm.
no, you send tomorrow morning. I said, no, I'll send morning. Then I say, I'll call my driver. I said, you go and give and come back here. Because
Yeah,
it is a it is a kind of property of a devotees, it is a property of Krishna, it is property of Prabhupada. How I can
yeah,
be so uncareful if money comes to my house actually
yeah,
without
absolutely.
anybody doing
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, yes,
Right.
Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare
Sorry.
Krishna. Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Prabhuji. I'm really sorry for this sharing what I felt. I'm
No, I'm
sorry.
sure it's
Hare
all
Krishna.
has everything has a reason. So I won't be
Yeah,
worried too
yeah.
much worried about it.
Reason is I am actually
Yeah.
telling you.
So
Hare
yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Anyway,
Okay,
Bhakti.
Krishna
okay.
knows best. Okay. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Antakoti Vaishnav ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Okay. Thank
Krishna.
you all. Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhu. Pranam.
Krishna Prabhu, Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.